Here we go. Hello, everybody coming in from all places and beyond. Periscope, Facebook Live, and we got 2 Periscopes running. So, and all eyes bouncing around. All right. And welcome, guys. Let me tell you, welcome. Okay, I'm gonna have to tilt to the side because we got 1 Periscope coming real low. But welcome everybody to 2016. This is our 2nd episode. This is the 2nd episode of 2016. Myself, I'm Yalanda, Lattimore, the editor of DryerBuzz.com. 14 years blogging, 20 years selling online, and 3 decades helping to actually create the internet, close the digital divide, the habits that we have on the internet. And what we're doing here today, we are live inside Tuya, one of the best businesses as part of our ecosystem here in Douglasville, Georgia. One of the best cities on the way to Atlanta. I'm joined by, of course, every week, Rita Fasina-Thomas, and she helps us entrepreneurs go pro. What's new with you this week?
Well, this week we're going to talk about the foundation.
Exactly, because you've helped a lot of us step fully into our businesses, right. Step fully into putting our brand out there. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, what we're going to do for the foundation. Those of you that follow us on Facebook, those of you that watch my earlier Periscope, I told you today is the day. We told you one of the shows in January, we're going to ask you to contribute. Now, America, all of America and beyond, just crowdsourced $1.5 billion for 3 people. We're just asking for $1,500 to raise a scholarship, one of the 3 scholarships that the foundation will give to a deserving Georgia student. Also joining us, back with us after, I don't know, how do you call it? Surprising, groundbreaking, winning case in the state of Georgia. Okay, I told y'all, when you look up a dryer bus, like amazing thing happens. It's like I just said, hey, can you just come on the show? I was doing radio. I said, can you come on and just talk about us? We were talking about fatherhood and representing fathers, and we realized that fathers had no rights. And you are going. And let me tell you, we did a scope this morning about eye contact. I ended the scope on your picture of the settlement when you have on your Instagram. And the first thing people zoomed in, normally they wouldn't pay attention to that, was your eye contact. They'd be like, oh man, she is looking dead on at us, right? Eye contact is so very important, and we talked about that because we were talking about Hollywood. Everybody's right now talking about the Oscar snubs, and I always think the Oscar snubs, those are the movies I run out and see, okay? And we were talking about the fact that Will Smith, major blockbuster actor, is not making eye contact on his movie poster. Right next to his movie poster is the Chipmunks. Dead on. Eye contact is another movie. So we were talking about that in this initiative this blog that I wrote some years ago about the ads in essence, how the black females, no ads, and none of the ads were making eye contact in a magazine where we are the demographic. Right. 3 months after that blog, all the ads were making eye contact. So it takes just one person, really, to make a difference. To see something, I could have saw it and kept it to myself, but that's not me. I blogged about it. It got picked up by some major outlets. And so Essence in 3 months had those ads changed because it literally was a selection. There is somebody that selects those pictures and this ad or that ad because there's somebody literally at the top, y'all. And I'm trying to read comments. Oscars are what? Oscars are bought, unfortunately. Because if you think about it, a lot of the movies that were nominated literally came out last week. They're not even fully out in the theater. They just released enough in order to make the nomination. So you got to ask, well, what about the movies that have been out all year long? So there's a lot that we can talk about as far as buzz. But you guys, we've been telling you to jump on social media, to put your products out there. And I like to go, as Rita has taught us, to go pro. So I've got Attorney Felder in. This is all questions, but do keep in mind, there's a GoFundMe running right now. GoFundMe.com/AAFT Foundation. Somebody please type that in. We got all our phones over there. You got yours. So you're going to have to subscribe today because our subscriber you told her to go pro, and she's got an event now at the same time as we've got an event. So you're going to have to type in your GoFundMe link. Yep, type in your GoFundMe link. We're raising one of the 3 $1,500 scholarships, and we raised them all. That'd be good too. In 3 days of launching it, already at $250. So we don't even need that much left. We're asking you to friends, please match your friends. $15 We want to see some donations during the scope, but the campaign is continuing until January 30th, which is the symposium.
Right.
So, and we understand you guys are probably hearing about this the first time today.
Well, actually, the campaign stops Monday.
Okay, the campaign, but you don't have to like stop it.
No.
But we want to say we did it by Monday.
Right.
So over the weekend, while you're out, and I told you guys before when we looked at the data, those of you watch my data and dollar scopes, $12 is the difference of us whether or not our communities are thriving or not. Where we spend those $12, when you spend $12 going to lunch, $12 going to the movies, $12 buying gas, $12 on alcohol and nicotine products, because what a carton of cigarettes, 2 packs I think is about $12, right?
I have no idea.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying don't do any of that stuff. I'm just saying be cognizant is whether or not you're matching it. The last $12 you spent, whether you stopped and got breakfast this morning or coffee, did it hurt or help your community? You got to start thinking, because if you think about it, Star Wars movie right now, yesterday when we checked, was $817 million. How much did they get from you? $12.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if you went and saw it twice, that's $24.
That's right.
Match that. Match that in your community. Hey, just make sure you're matching that in your community. And I had to encourage Rita to do this GoFundMe. So she's trusting me on this. I'm trusting y'all on this to do this to help her reach this goal. But again, the foundation. Tell everybody the foundation and why the foundation.
Okay. So, about a year
we're
and
like
a half
Mr.
ago,
Rogers. That was the mailman. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
about a year and a half ago, I lost my husband. And his name was Demola A. Fasina-Thomas. And my husband loved children, and he also loved education. As a matter of fact, when he was in his 40s, he went back to school. He finished college, his bachelor's degree in 3.5 years. He worked full time. He was an amazing father and an amazing husband. And when his birthday rolled around after his passing, it just made sense for me to start a foundation in his honor, because that was his legacy. He gave back. He loved children. Before his passing, he went to Nigeria, which is his home, and there was a young lady who approached him, and she was renting a storefront from my mother-in-law, and she told him, I want to go to school, but I'm penniless, I can't afford to. So he called me and he asked me if we could go ahead and pay for her to be tested. Come to find out, this young lady was absolutely brilliant. So she got into a number of premier universities in Nigeria. When she chose which one she wanted to go to, we started to pay her tuition. Wow. So we paid her tuition until such time that we found out that my husband was ill, and medical costs being what they are, we couldn't continue. So he actually birthed this, and all I'm doing is continuing it. Right. So last year we were able to award 2 $1,500 scholarships to 2 amazing young people, one of which is in Duke University right now, and then the other one is at Kennesaw State. So this year our goal is to raise funds for 3 $1,500 scholarships. Truly, we have so many leaders out there and so many young people that want to go to college, but they just can't afford to. And loans being what they are, it's ludicrous. They start off in life behind for 15 years or so because they're trying to pay off their student loans. So, a story I recounted to you was somebody said to me, "Oh, everybody's doing scholarships," and I was really kind of ticked off. My thing, the way that I feel is that as long as there is one young person out there that wants to go to school and can't afford to, there can never be enough scholarships. And it's up to us to uplift our young people and to ensure that they have a chance.
Yeah. And a lot of times people don't think about it. The $1,500 is the normal borrow amount. So for a student not to have to borrow money for a year or a semester, that makes a difference. It makes a difference. And we talked about the fact that there's so many students, not only are they not getting the scholarships, they can't afford the application fee.
That's right.
To apply at several different universities because you don't have to go, and a lot of people are settling because that's the only application that they could do. And now, in order, the students are selected. Tell us how you select your students.
Okay, there is a criteria that's on the website. Okay, and the criteria, you have to fill out 4 essays, and not only is it based on your GPA, but what do you do for your community? Right. You know, as a young person, you have to get out there and you have to help other people. You know, the young lady that is at Duke University, she actually started a store in Nigeria. Wow. She gets absolutely nothing from this store. Wow. She collects goods from the neighborhood
and then they sell.
Put them in a barrel, sends them to Nigeria. If you can afford to buy it, you buy it. If you can't afford to buy it, you get it anyway.
Wow. So kind of an honesty.
Exactly.
You go, but you need something, you go by the barrel.
Exactly.
You can put something in, you put something in.
Exactly.
You need something, you take something out.
That's
I love
right.
it. I love it.
I mean, when I read her application, I was in tears.
Right.
That's how much she touched me. And then when I met her for the first time, because when she received the scholarship, she had no idea that she was receiving a scholarship.
Wow.
I went to New Manchester High School, and I surprised her. All of her counselors knew, and she didn't know.
Wow. And that's the amazing part about it, to be able to gift. To give somebody.
Yes, and that's an amazing feeling.
Wow.
But her humility is what got me more than anything.
Right.
You know, for her to do such great work in her community, not only in Nigeria, but she also volunteered at a hospital. She wants to be a pediatrician, and she volunteered at a hospital here.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, and that's the kind of service that's out there in our youth. Our youth is out there. So Rita's trusting me to do this GoFundMe. I'm trusting you guys. Please help support. Match your friends. Your friends are giving $15 at a time, at the minimum $15.
Right.
She's going to run it till Monday. But when you go to the site, you get a chance to see how much people are giving. I said over the past 3 days, the donations are coming in.
Yes.
And if you're just hearing about it, take some time, process it. But the link will be in the scope, in the Facebook, as well as on the other scopes as well. So, what we want to talk about, the second, you gave us some homework.
Right.
Last week we looked at our big numbers, entrepreneurs, how we're going to reach that number, and then you said, figure out what's in the gap from us reaching that number. Because I was like, I got to talk to you about this, because I mean, you just had a major case, and it's like, how do you go back to the ordinary cases? You know what I'm saying?
That's a good question. I would love to know that.
And do people now expect that you're always at that level? So we got to talk about, one of the things we said was, she said, well, everybody that came, all the entrepreneurs that came, we usually put them in a hot seat, and Rita would ask them some questions. So our goal for New Year was like, what's the goal you want to reach? And everybody had a number, 250,000, 50,000, 100,000. She's like, okay, well, how do you then get there? And what's in the gap to keep you from getting there? And so now that you come into the 2016 as that kind of lawyer with, first of all, how does it feel when you won the verdict?
Well, it felt great. I was shocked, to be honest.
Really?
But at the same time, you're only shocked because as a lawyer, you think of all the little nuances and intricacies that makes your case complicated.
Was it a jury case?
It was a jury case.
Okay. So we got to talk about the closing arguments and all that.
Right.
But tell everybody, give everybody your information, because your phone's over there, so you can't type in. We'll try and get it on Rita's.
All right.
But I gave a little bit of introduction because I know her and I've known her forever. But tell people who don't know you who you are.
I'm an attorney in Atlanta. I own a practice here. It's Midtown Buckhead. It's the law offices of Precious Felder. and that's Felder as with an F, because I don't know why people mistake it with an
everything,
S.
right?
Yeah, but it's Felder, and I have a Twitter account. It's at PF Law LLC, and that's probably consistent with my Periscope, and also an Instagram account which is PF_Law LLC. And if you can't find those, just do a Google search. I'm sure you'll find it there. I practice family law, which is a huge part of my practice, which includes father's rights, which is legitimation, basically, child support, custody, divorce actions, which also includes prenuptial and postnuptial agreements. I also practice criminal defense, entertainment, which is primarily music, but I do get a lot of calls. It's Felder with an F.
I'm glad you can see that.
Attorney,
yeah, it's very simple. FELDER. There you go.
And lastly, I do dabble in personal injury, which is just mostly car accidents for me. And the case Yalanda is referring to is actually one of my companies, which is an entertainment company that was formed in Florida. They got in contact. That's correct. They got in contact with me when I just basically passed the bar, which was about 4 years ago, and they said that they basically got into an investment deal with a guy, and they had to put up about $250,000, and without going too far into the detail because it gets really, really complicated, basically they got nothing in return. And that's pretty much the same way I told my jury. Right. And if you give anybody $250,000, I don't care what your reasoning is. Why haven't I gotten something in return? And of course, the individual who was sued, he was sued along with a company he owned. He also had some agency relationship with a company in Hong Kong. And he put a lot of his blame on the company in Hong Kong, of course, which is really, it's hard to track a Hong Kong company. And also an individual who was a Vietnamese individual who no one has ever seen, no one has ever talked to, no one can have access to him. Only he can have access to him. And this was actually a black male, which was surprising. He was from New York, and he had a home here in Georgia. And that's how we were able to bring him in here in Georgia. And although it was a very complicated case, to me, I thought the premise was very simple, and that is if I give you money, you give me something back, no matter what the reasoning. Now, his major defense was that my client didn't complete something on his end of the contract. That's what his major defense was. But unfortunately, that defense didn't hold up with a jury because I think the common sense thing would say, well, why not tell them what to do next? Especially if you're saying they didn't do something, and my client was basically arguing, well, I didn't do it because he didn't do something, and he didn't tell me how to do it. And I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible because if I get into the investment type of deal, it'll put you in circles. And I didn't want my jury to go there, so I don't want anybody else explaining the case to go there. And basically, this contract called for him to pay my client 2% of the face value of the instrument that was on the contract. And that was $2 million, roughly. And we went with the $2 million, although the math wasn't quite right. But my client was awarded the $2 million on the contract. They were also awarded the $250,000 that they paid for fraud. And they also got interest on the liquidated damages, was $2 million. So it ended up being a verdict of well over $2.5 million.
Very celebrated verdict. So they came to you right out of law school, and so you spent. This was her Claire Huxtable case. Let me just put it that way. Remember when Claire Huxtable graduated law school and then she won that case. So resetting, because I see a number of people have come in on the Periscope. My name is Yalanda, Lattimore, editor of Dryer Buzz, which is why it's called Dryer Buzz Live. This beautiful establishment is to you. 6786 Broad Street. This is where we jump from our individual scopes and come and scope together. Entrepreneurs also welcome to stop by and tell us about their products. Rita Fasina-Thomas on the end here is with me every week. She helps entrepreneurs go pro. Because a lot of us, we can get a logo and a business card, but you got to have some professionalism in the mix. And we have, because we've been telling you guys to get behind your brand, your business, put it out there. we went and got an attorney to make sure that you are protected in putting it out there. Because it's one thing to, you know, put your product or your design and all that on Instagram and on Facebook and everything. But there are people who will say, okay, I'm going to do that too. But you gotta protect yourself. So we're gonna be she's gonna be taking questions, and you can talk to her now on the scope. Don't wait and think you gotta like get with her later. Post your questions. We're screenshotting the questions. She's gonna answer those questions right here, right now. While there's no retainer needed to be in place. I'm just saying, I've got you an attorney. Let's ask her some questions. Ask Rita some questions about how to go pro. Really like go pro in your business. And also we're doing, during the scope, throughout the weekend, we're raising money for scholarships, $1,500 scholarship we want to raise with Periscope. And I know you guys can do it because I've seen us do it before. And I'm just going to redirect you in that direction to do that for us today. And this weekend is the AAFT Foundation. If you go to GoFundMe.com/AAFT Foundation, you'll see that people are giving, wanting you to match your friends, okay? Don't just let Rita be thanking your friends. We want to also thank you too. If you don't have it to give, do this. Click the like button. Click the share button, because you'd be surprised how many people. That's the secret. You want to know the secret of social media, the secret of Periscope? It's sharing. You've got to click like you got. What is the lawyer info? We got to type her info in as well. Attorney Felder, what's your Twitter?
My Twitter is @PFLawLLC. My Instagram is PF_Law LLC. And you can contact my office at 404-478-7207.
And she also has a Periscope running at the same time, so you will see her name in the stream. GoFundMe.com, that's you, Rita, okay. And if you would type her Twitter, or no, website, type her website so they can screenshot the website. All right, so you know me, I'm all about answers. If you got questions, we've got answers. And how are we on time? Because we're also running a Facebook Live at the same time, and Facebook will give us 30 minutes. So Facebook, you guys are engaging on 30 minutes. Unfortunately, I'm using all of my devices during this stream, and I can't engage with your comments. Mousy, can I see your phone? Maybe I can answer some of these Facebook questions on there. We'll get one more device. They said, remember I told you all, the data came out that you need 2 devices.
Yes.
And 30% have 3 devices. And so clearly it's obvious you're still trying to figure out if you should tweet, you need 3 devices. Because now you need to be live, you need to be tweeting, you need to be. And Sharon Master Brown, you want to step in and say hello? What you got in your hand? Well, hand me that. And don't forget, Valentine's Day shopping, you need to, where's the one with the card? The one with the card. Let's put that on the screen. You know that we are inside Tuya. Go to Tuya.com. The artwork that you see behind us is that of local Miles Davis. It's up to the end, to the 15th of the month. And Valentine's Day, what to get for Valentine's Day? You need to come to Tuya for Valentine's Day. Because one thing you want to do, Master, put this one up to the camera. If you can't think about what to get a loved one for Valentine's Day, go in the closet and get those mementos that you've given them years before. Bring it in and get it framed.
That's right.
That one card that she treasures or he treasures, bring the card in. This one that's closer to coming short on Facebook over here as well. This particular one is a card. And you got a card because you posted, you guys have been together how long? I'm putting all your business out.
14 years.
And you got a card of some memento that you've been given over the years. Right. Well, just think about if you framed it. You know, gift certificates for framing. Those who are graduating this year, come in, you can get gift certificates to frame the diplomas. That is the #1 gift to give a graduate, because how many diplomas do you have? Several, right? Are they all framed on the wall? That's the best gift certificate. How long did they sit before you framed? Did you frame right away?
Yeah, well, because when you pass the bar, there's actually an individual
you
who
need to
contacts
show.
you immediately.
Okay, gotcha. That's something you want to do. I mean, if somebody gave you a gift certificate, you'd love that too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, get it done. So, Valentine's mementos, you can take last year's card. Remember that card? You're like, what'd she do with all that stuff I bought last year? Bring it in, get it framed, give it back to her.
There you go.
There you go. Re-gifting the gifts. but it takes it to a whole nother level. And we're going to show you some other framing that's going on to you. Custom framing, art gallery, and boutique. There's a design center over where our old set is now the design center. So we want to thank Mousy for letting us come in and Periscope in her shop and inviting other entrepreneurs in as well. Back to the conversation. That was a reset. Oh my God. Okay. Rita Fasina-Thomas helps you go pro. I'm Yalanda. I help you create buzz. And now we got an attorney on board to help you protect your property. Now, we're telling people, if I tell somebody, go ahead and start a Twitter account. Go ahead and start like, let's say, for instance, Mousy has a toy that she's getting ready to, we want to create some buzz for it, but she wants to protect it before she puts it out there. How do you know what route to take in protecting content or product? Like you said with the one your people did an investment in. Let's say you're going to take somebody's money. How do you protect yourself?
Well, there are two different types of areas, but if you're talking about a product, you're definitely talking about the process of patenting a product.
Okay.
Because you have to consider it's like an invention.
Right.
So if you're talking a tangible object like that, you obviously want to contact an attorney as soon as possible to get your patent over and done with. Now, otherwise, if you're talking about some other intellectual property such as, music content or even just writing, and you plan.
What about a hashtag? Because a lot of times you can